proud. I am making raw chocolate cake. This is just off the cuff. I have to make a surprise something still for my son's birthday party tomorrow, and I'm going to make a special raw chocolate cake for him. So this is turning into an event, and since I have just decided, this is for you, Shanda, to win it this year, to win it and really serve a much larger community than I've ever done before. So this is what I'm doing. I'm making a raw chocolate cake for all you chocoholics. This is a raw chocolate cake, and it's good for you, and it's wonderful, and yes, it's rich and satisfying. And let's see what we need for this one. I put together today. So I just got back from running, by the way. That's why I'm still flushed and, and I'm not looking like made up or anything, but that's the energy we need. All right. So I have raw cacao in a big 5-pound bag. I have walnuts, bulk, in a big bag as well. Walnut pieces, they come in a, I think, 25-pound box, and of course then are much lower price because you know how expensive walnuts get. I have cashews, very few. They're organic from the health food store. They were expensive. They were like 13 bucks a pound. I have raisins. I have really raw agave juice. And again, every time I use it, I have to explain that this is really cold extracted agave juice. So it's just like any other fruit juice, and it's thickened by vacuum extraction, that's called. So the hydrous parts, the water parts are sucked out in the vacuum, and the juice is thickened a little bit. So it's not watery, but it's also not as syrupy. You see how wobbly it is? It's not like syrupy like the stuff that you get in your supermarket that's agave syrup, which is boiled down to a thickness. So hi everybody, hi Katya, hi Julia, hi, who is there? Oh wait, Gladys and Lillian. Lillian, oh my God, kisses, wow. I'm so happy to see you. Amazing. So we're making my Johanna's raw chocolate cake in a little bit of a variation because it's for my son's birthday tomorrow, and he'll have lots of friends who've never, ever in their life eaten anything raw or healthy. they're just his buddies because he plays Magic the Gathering, what many young people play, and it's a very smart game. So they're smart, but they have never understood or learned anything about healthy food. So, okay, so to reiterate, we have cacao, walnuts, cashews, really raw agave. We have raisins. I normally don't have raisins in my standard chocolate cake, but I want to include those. I have coconut oil in a honey jar because I have it in my 5-gallon bucket, and I don't want to lift that one up here. So it's just siphoned off from that bucket. It's raw, cold, extracted coconut oil. I have frozen raspberries, organic, of course, as always. Everything I use is organic. Everything that I just showed you is organic. And I have a psyllium. Psyllium is called something so funny in German that I always have to mention it. In German, it's called flea seed powder or something like that. So I don't know why it's called flea seed. Probably because the seeds that this plant has, psyllium. Again, I don't even have an image of the plant, so I can't tell you. But I'm going to put some flea seed powder into my cake, powdered fleas, and last but not least, I have vanilla. And again, this is vanilla that I filled from my big gallon bottle. I have a gallon bottle of organic cold extracted vanilla extract into a regular vanilla bottle. Of course, it's you know, it's like, I don't drink, but I mean, I don't drink alcohol, but it's like in the old days when I was like enjoying the smell of a really expensive cognac in a French restaurant or in Paris or wherever I was in those days of entertainment. So this is vanilla in an organic brandy, you know, high quality brandy called cognac. So it's an organic vanilla cold extracted in alcohol. So it has that little bit of very refined alcohol flavor to it as well. I think that's all we need. We're going to start off with the crust. The crust takes just walnuts, and I am going to use a cup to take the walnuts out of here. What we're using today is a food processor, not the Vitamix, because the food processor grinds things without having to have them be wet. So I don't need much water. Again, hi everybody. I'm so happy to see you on here. If you can't watch the whole recipe, watch it later so you can make it at your house. Okay, so we need, for a good base, we need probably, let's make 2 cups. It's never bad to have a little too much. And so the base, the crust, as we would call it, the base in the cake form, and what we're using is just a pie pan. Let me show you. So see this? Because the raw cake does not get baked, it is in a pie pan like this. When it's angled on the side, it's easier to get the pieces out. But that's otherwise, you know, a taller one is just as good. So that's what the crust goes into. So the crust stays very simple, just nuts and cocoa, a little bit, not too much. Probably just, see this? I have a very heaped tablespoon. That should be enough. And by the way, Katja, this is going to be closer to the cake I made for Dieter in Germany, for Dieter's party, that had also included some raisins and a little fruit because I didn't have raw agave in Germany. So I'm going to make something that is a little closer to that so it has a lighter, fruitier taste. And hopefully the filling is going to be fluffier because of the psyllium. Who else joined us? Oh, it's Katja. All right. Cool. So spread the word if other people want to watch. And I'm grinding this first. So this is just walnuts and cacao. And I want it to be rather fine. I want it to be not too grainy. Some people like their cake sort of still crunchy, nutty. In this case, I want it fine so that it is more in the direction of a very luxurious, creamy cake, including the crust. Let's see, this looks already pretty good. Sometimes you have to shave down the grainy parts that are around the edges. I'm running it like this, and then so now I'm going to add just a little bit of agave, like probably 2 or 3 tablespoons. one ingredient. And for the crust, it's important. This is my gray sea salt. I am adding, to make the crust really add to the total flavor of the sweet filling and the crust being a little salty. It's very important to have a good sea salt. And again, the gray sea salt, in my opinion, is the best for flavor. It enhances the flavor. And so I'm putting, if you wanted to see this in my hand, I'm putting like half a teaspoon of salt in here because I love that contrast of a slightly salty crust with the sweet filling. So that's it. Now we just have to run it until it forms lumps, until it's kind of going, sticking together by itself, and then we can take it out. It's doing it, but we have a little sticky stuff here on the side. So who just joined us? Kim! Hi, Kim! Chocolate cake for you and the boys. Yeah! Welcome. So this is an ad hoc sudden video that I hadn't planned, but wanted to make while making this chocolate cake for my son's birthday party tomorrow. So this is now forming lumps. It's sticking together and rolling itself into a finer consistency. And I think we're good. Yeah, we're perfect. So this is the fine grain consistency that I want. We don't have much light here, so you don't see it as much. I'm going to show you a little bit. See this? This does not show pieces of nuts anymore, but it's fine and smooth. So now we take our pie pan, and I'm going to try and get it over here so that you can see what I'm doing. And of course, you know, if you were making this in a store or for sale, you would have to wear those terrible gloves that I hate. But since we're making it with the love of our hands for our friends, we don't need to do that. So we can, this tastes great just like that. But yeah, it's perfect. The saltiness also is just perfect. And then I push it with my knuckles up the edges a little bit, so that when you lift out the piece, it kind of holds everything together. You know what I mean? So with my knuckles, I push it up the edges. And then it will hold the pieces. See, that's what it looks like. There you see it better because there's a little bit of light coming in from the window. This is not a mountain in the center. It looks like a mountain. It's just flat. It's just the patterns make it look like that. So, good. This can go into the fridge or can be sticking around. This all doesn't take long. The great thing about these cakes is that it's really fast. So the rest of the filling I will put into a bowl and keep either for decoration on top of the cake or for another one if we have enough filling left. Because this is not, this is off the top of my head variation, and the exact measurements will be And then you don't need to wash this to make the filling. You can just continue in this container with a little bit of the crust in it. All right, now when we do the filling, we start first with the hardest part, namely the nuts. I'm starting with the cashews, grinding them down so that they are fine. And then we add all the other ingredients to reach the smoothness that we want. So first I'm grinding the nuts. I think it's good enough. So now the nuts are pre-ground. They're still pretty chunky, but you know what? We're going to grind them with everything else. Next, if I'm putting raspberries into my dough, so to speak, into the filling, I want them also to get ground down pretty well. I could pre-mix them to a smooth consistency in the Vitamix, which would hold us up a little bit, but I think I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just going to put this in here and then let it run for a long time a little later. So I'm putting half of this package, a little more than half of this package in here. And yeah, that's it. Again, I'm making this up as I go, so don't expect me to have measurements. I do most of my recipes, that's how they come about, by in my mind saying to myself, I want that flavor to be a little fruitier, I want the consistency to be foamy, fluffy, so I have to add more water, but then I also have to add psyllium to thicken it so that it becomes gelatinous again. So I make it up in my head as I go. And then I make it, and so far so good. Most of the time it turns out really delicious. And of course there's also a moment toward the end of it where I fix it if I feel it's not sweet enough, or it's gone in a direction that I didn't mean it to go into. So I'm putting quite a bit of, it's like a cup of raisins. Like 2 cups of raspberries, 1 cup of raisins. And when this is run a little bit, I'm going to put the agave. We still need quite a bit of agave in here too, because we want it to be really sweet. This is a full ladle. And the ladle is like half a cup, I would say. Yeah. Raspberries are quite sour when they're in a mix like that. And I'm going to run this with a little water in it. And I'm so happy. I went to the farm and I got the good water again. And I've been happily drinking much more water because it's so delicious. And I need to get a new bottle because I don't have the bottles in the kitchen. I keep them here by the dehydrators, which we now have behind a curtain so that they don't see. We just go and get lots of gallon bottles full of the water from the farm. And boy, it is just, it's like wine tasting. It really is. Water can be so delicious and so satisfyingly flavorful, or it can be so bland, or it can be terrible, full of chlorine and I don't know what other flavors. So this is the really good water, and I'm going to have to let this run until really smooth, and that is going to take a while. it is annoying that it takes so long, and it will take longer because the raisins take quite a while to get completely smooth. You know what? I'm going to do my thing, like I told you, and put it in the Vitamix, because then it takes a half minute and everything is, oh there we have some vanilla on the run here. Then it takes half a minute to have everything super fine and ready. Where is our Vitamix? Okay. So now it is going to take longer because I have to wash the Vitamix. Here we go. This one, I made a smoothie today. Oh, you'll be interested in the kind of smoothie I made today. It was interesting. I made a smoothie with nettles. I had frozen nettles. And boy, it felt really powerful. Nettles and blueberries. And then, of course, the usual and that's what this was. This was still from the nettle smoothie. So now we will put this in here. And watch it, the knife will just flop out and give me a hard time here. Let me hold it. There we go. And get those remaining raisins out of there. And zippity zip, instead of letting it run for 10 minutes here until it's smooth, we're going to do it in the Vitamix. And we still need one lid and zippity zip. All right, noise, watch out. All right, that's already really fine. But now I'm going to throw the coconut oil, which is hard, also into this mix, because it got cold in New York, you guys, in California and Florida and wherever you are, in Australia, and where it's spring now, or going on spring. I just was talking to Australia last night with Anthea, one of my experts on the upcoming summit, Easy Fun Raw, which you will all hear about very soon. And she works with people specifically with eating disorders in Australia and, of course, around the globe online, and helps people. Anthea Francis is her name. So how did I get to Australia? From the weather, because it's getting to be cold in New York, and it's fall, and the leaves are beginning to, even though it's just September, beginning to fall off and turn a little bit. Yeah. And winter is going to be here soon. So I'm adding a little bit more water before I'm adding the psyllium and the chocolate. The vanilla is already in, so let's see what this is doing. We're going to use this instrument to stomp it down. Yeah, that's what we want, babe. Smooth as a baby's butt. Awesome. Actually, I think we can do the whole mixture in here. See that? See how smooth it is? No more grains. No graininess. And we could, of course, we could also just make a cheesecake, so to speak, out of this if we added some lemon juice, and then we'd have a raspberry cheesecake. We'd need a lot of lemon juice to get that cheesiness with the cashews and then psyllium. I'm going to rinse off my hand again quickly. But it tastes fabulous. So now goes the cocoa and the psyllium, and we're done. We're pouring it into the cake, and then we're putting it in the freezer. And then we're decorating it when it's at least halfway frozen. So here comes the big chocolate bag. And yeah, I'm not going to put very much because I want that fruity flavor to come through. Yeah, a little more. Again, you know, I'll give you the exact measurements in my upcoming book, Raw Foods Are Awesome, which we are working on. And my dear friend and team member on my team, Jody, will edit it for me. And then we're all good to go with our putting our book to print. Let's see whether it handled everything. No, there's still powder on top because, of course, the chocolate powder thickens the whole mixture considerably. But now we're also going to put a good tablespoon of psyllium in there. And I don't even think we're putting it back in the food processor. We're just going to leave it here. But a good heaping of psyllium powder, or these are like psyllium flakes, but they work just as well. You should make sure they're non-GMO and possibly organic. So now we need to mix this in quickly because once the psyllium is in, it thickens so much that you cannot thin it again. It's not holding very well. Okay, let's try that. And the plot thickens. It's all good. I'm a little worried that it's not thick enough. But it can thicken overnight and of course goes in the freezer. And if push comes to shove, we'll serve it like ice cream cake. Oh, absolutely fabulous. So high class. So freaking high class. Really cool. All right, so if it doesn't turn out to be thick enough, because I didn't put enough psyllium, with the psyllium you have to watch a little bit. If you put too much, then there is a bitter aftertaste. But again, that's like with stevia. You know, when you put too much of these natural sweeteners, often they turn bitter when the concentration is too high. So we have this interesting light in here. The sun is coming out and through the window, and the lamp light, the indoor light is on, and it's weird, right? It's like this blue light in the afternoon. The sun is going to sink over the trees outside my window here. It's going to go down. All right, I'm rinsing off my hands. I'm pouring the cake in. And then all that's left is decorating. Who else joined us here? Raya. Which Raya is this? Tell me who you are. How old is your son? My son is 22, so his buddies are all like young adults, and they're all either at college or working, or most of them are at college, of course, and he just decided to join college, and they're also in his media club where they're making videos and stuff. So yeah, this is not a children's party. This is going to be a young adult party. We're also making stick bread outside in the backyard, and of course, you know, we're a vegan household, so the kids get some cooked and baked stuff while I eat all raw or 95% raw, let's say. Good. So here we go. We're just pouring this into our base and letting it set in the freezer. You see, now we have a little bit left that we can put into another cake. And now as I place this in the freezer, it has to sit straight so that it doesn't run over the edge, because of course it is still pretty liquid, but it should set to a thick fluffy consistency. Absolutely awesome. All right, let's see if I can fit it in here without throwing the computer down, which I have done before. Okay. It can sit in here very straight. Yes, it can. And now it needs to freeze, and as it freezes, it will thicken. And I got my fingers all full. Oh my God, yeah. So the rest will go into another smaller cake, but I'm going to cut it off here. Thanks for watching, and it's great to have you guys with me. So now you all know how to make an awesome raw food chocolate cake. And delish, delish, delish. And then you can decorate it with beautiful raspberries on top, or with the rest of the, you know, I normally make little shapes like a sunshine, like a star, on my cakes after the filling is frozen. You know, then you can do the decorations. And of course, on this one, there will be 22 candles tomorrow, so that when everybody gets around, they can do the traditional blowing out the candles and singing the song and hugging and group hug and all that stuff that we do traditionally in my family, and we will do with everybody who visits our house. Love you guys. Eat your chocolate and enjoy your body and your health. And you know, this stuff too here, keep fit and awesome. I just went running and exercising, and it's just lovely to be healthy at any age. So whether 22 or 64, it's all good. Give yourself a hug. Bye. Love you guys.